Hello, welcome back. It is another Friday. I'm doing a good job recording on Friday to review the week. Definitely not recording on Monday, although I did get my lesson plans done in advance and we're all prepped for Monday, but that doesn't always happen, right? You know, you're prepped for Monday, but maybe not the whole week. Nonetheless, for those of you that are new here, my name is Kristen Lankford and I teach a pre-K blended classroom. And those of you that already know, welcome back. This video is going to be just what we did this week. The theme was our 5 senses. So we had a 5 senses poem and we read books about our 5 senses, and we had our literacy groups where focus, each one was a 5 sense. And then our focus in math was numbers 1 to 5. Basically just knowing the number this week, and then next week we're gonna build on to that. And our social emotional was listening, which I love. I wish that was last week because we all need some practice with listening. So I have a couple things that I'm gonna show you just sitting here, and then I will take the camera around and show you a couple of the projects that we have going on and some of the papers that we did, things like that. All right, let's see. First is our card that was second step. This is our new curriculum, which I love. And like I said, it was listening. So this is a little picture, and we talked about which kid is listening, which they all are. And then we asked them how they know that they're listening, because we have these cards that came with it, which are amazing because it really gives a realistic picture, you know, real image of a kid around their age. And a lot of these match our class agreement. So it was kind of nice to see that, I don't know, correlation, I guess. One thing that was kind of crazy on the other ones was the words were like flip-flops. So this one was new, body calm, which actually worked really well for one of my kids that struggles with keeping his hands to himself. You know, he just, on downtime, he might be a little touchy. So we worked on using this strategy, and we would say, body calm, and he would grab his arms to himself. So that was really helpful. You should definitely use this. I'm going to use this all the time now. This one goes this way. This is what I'm talking about. So our class agreement is listening ears. And the way that these cards are, it says ears listening. So it just flip-flops it. And the kids just say listening ears instead. But look at the visual with like the ears and cupping them. And then this one is voices quiet, and these are all what you need to do to be a good listener. That's what these cards are. And then the last one is eyes watching. Look how cute. So we went over on the first day, we did a puppet, and we got to introduce our girl puppet. When I walk around the classroom, I'm gonna try and show you the puppets. They're really cute. But we got to introduce our girl, and she had a hard time listening, and so the boy puppet kind of helped her to calm down and be a good listener. And we went over these cards with her to show her how to be a good listener. So it's kind of like using the puppets to model the correct behavior. Then day 2, we did the picture card that I showed you. And then day 3 and 4 is always like some type of game or activity. And so just to review, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Game 3 was like a listening game with the rule cards. So I would review the rule cards, and then I would put the cards down and I say, oh, show me listening ears, and they would have to do that. And then I extended it with Simon Says, because that's fun, right? Simon Says, and they all got out as soon as I didn't say Simon Says. But it was still fun. The second game was Miss Sam, my parrot, went around the classroom and made noises, and we all like covered our eyes and used our ears, and then we had to guess what the sound was. So like she opened the door and then closed it, she flushed the toilet, things like that. So we took turns trying to guess the sound because we were using our listening ears. And then day 5 is always a read aloud that goes with that, and today we read My Mouth is a Volcano. Kylie's in here, she says she loves this book. It is a little long for pre-K, so I did some paraphrasing. I didn't read it word for word, but they got the gist that the kid, you know, he just wants to blurt out. And we talked about raising our hand because when we're listening to our friends, it might make us think of something, but we don't want to be a volcano. And now we have that word. Interrupting chicken and a volcano. Okay, so that was a lot. That was social emotional, and obviously we're still going over our green choices and our red choices and communicating with our friends and sharing and all of that stuff during our social centers. But this is like the direct lesson. Moving right along, let's see. For my small group, we did hearing and smelling. And I threw away the cups because I had stuff in them. But I have those little mouthwash cups and I just put paper over it with some holes. And the kids smelled it and they tried to guess what it was. And I had a little like blank paper and they just drew a picture like in a notebook, you know, of what they thought the smell was. So I did gum. It was so funny. One of the kids said spicy toothpaste. Hilarious, but very close, right? Gum. I did cinnamon. And they said cake. A lot of them thought it was cake. Also very close. And then I did cheese balls, which like none of them got. They said some wild things. One of them said it smelled like strawberries. We just did smelly cups. They got to draw a picture and then they loved being able to open it up and see what it was. And then the same thing was with hearing. I think they're in here. Yeah. I just had Easter eggs from last year and we shook it. We talked about if it was like a loud sound or kind of more of a soft sound. And then we obviously guessed what was inside. A lot of them sound pretty similar. Not this one, of course these two are not. But like these ones, you know, it sounds a lot the same as the other one and they said sprinkles every time. Somebody did say seeds, which this one is. And then this one's goldfish, kind of softer. This one was a ball and then the other one was paper clips. So same concept, we shook it, we talked about what we heard, and then we made a guess about what was inside. In Miss Sam's group, we got this new sensory bin. Oh, it's not locked. It's so cute, it's on Amazon. It is kinetic sand, but there's the glare. It's construction, which was so cute. Everybody loved it. And so it was all about touch, obviously. And they talked about how it felt, and then they kind of like balled it up, and then honestly, they got to play with it, which is so fun. We did give them each their own bit because, you know, there's some colds going on and we don't want to share that. So they each had their own little piece of it. Hopefully it'll go under quarantine for a while before we get it back out. But it comes with all of these toys and little molds. You should look into it, it's really cute. The other one was seeing, so this one was kind of hard because it's like colors, which we already did colors, you know, like I Spy, all that. But I have this game and it's object matching. So it has cards like this and it has the shadow of the object and they would each have a card. And they did this by themselves, which was really cool because independent activities is a lot harder than we think with these little ones. But so they could see this and then they found the spider and they matched it to the shadow. And then the final center was also by themselves, which was very brave of us as usual, but you know, that's what pre-K is about, exploring. We gave them a huge chart paper and we gave them smelly markers and they got to draw pictures on their posters and then they smelled the poster. Okay, so for reading, apparently I put some books away. Sorry about that, but we did My Five Senses. This one is super cute. It goes through all the senses. It also goes over using multiple senses, there we go, multiple senses at one time to be able to really explore something like a dog. How many of the senses do you use when you're playing with a dog? It also has this poster on the back, so we talked about, everybody gave an example of something that you can smell, all that. This was our introduction book. Wow, I cannot talk, I need to go home. Another book that we did was The Listening Walk. It's pretty popular, you guys probably heard it. And so we read it and then we went on a listening walk around our playground and in the classroom to listen for noises. And then another book, this was kind of a social studies part that we like threw in a little bit. We talked about the flag and this book is literally just the Pledge of Allegiance. We eat breakfast during the morning show time, so we don't really get to watch our morning show. So we don't really do the pledge either. And so we're just like kind of introducing them to it. It was pretty cute because a couple kids knew it. And I said, how do you know that? And they talked about how they've heard it at a sporting event or something like that. All right, so that was books. And then, what do we have left? Oh, our poem that I said. I literally take these from Pinterest. I just type in what our theme is, and I find a poem that's short and sweet that somebody else already made, and I type it up on a document, and then I print it out. So this one is the Five Senses, and it goes to, I can't even think of the song, but it's like 5 senses, 5 senses, we have them. And then it goes through each of them, seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing, touching, feeling. So they learned it so quick. We did motions with it, 5 senses. We had them and then we pointed to them. And then today we did a craft with those. Here's the poetry notebook. We found this on Pinterest for free, made it half sheet, taped it on. It's the second poem that we've done. We glued the poem on this side and then, I think that might be blurred. There we go. We just die cut a hand. There we go. I literally cannot talk. And then we went over our 5 senses and we put each picture of one of our 5 senses, body parts, onto the hand. Easy. They love this and it's just super quick crafts. All right, I am making a mess of this table, but I'm going through my bin and these are the papers that I did. I literally just wrote on the paper, what's that smell? What's that sound for the smelly cups and for the eggs, and then I copied it. Nothing fancy. Next up is the math, and in math, we watched the Jack Hartman songs. That he has songs that, what's that number, different ways to show the number. So each day we did a number. We did number 1 on Monday, and then like today we did number 5. We watched that video, and so they learned terms like tally marks and 5-frame and fingers and domino and dice, showed all the ways to make the number. And then he has another one with like little songs with how to write the number. So like 5 today was down, around, put the flag on top, I think it was, I don't know. So we watched that too. And then they watched, we did it in the air with our fingers, we did it on the table. And then they watched me write some examples and non-examples. And then they did this paper. I made them front and back, but this one is not front and back. So on the front of it, it was a paper like this. They traced it, a million times traced it. And then they have 5 times to write it on their own. And then they colored the picture. And then here, my camera is dying. Hopefully it finishes or I'm gonna have to use my phone. And then here on the back, they used a daughter, one of those paint daughters, and they found all the number 1s and they practiced writing their name. So we did that each day for our math activity. Instead of doing the small groups this week, we did it whole group. Okay, so clearly I was in the middle of lesson planning, but I did wanna show you one of the cute crafts that we did, and by we, Miss Sam once again. But we made these little pencils. She made this pencil. Look, I can't even get it right. There we go. She made these pencils with the kids' names, and so we're keeping them up. If they're pokey, you know, that means that they had a turn. If they're down, that means that they haven't had a turn. Another thing that we are working on is we got this sticky contact paper to make a backsplash. Also need to clean off the counters before I leave. And then these are the green choice stickers. Some of our kids finally filled up their sticker chart and they have started over and they got treasure box. And then last, we got this little guy. He is reversible. We're gonna put him in the calm down chair so that like they can keep it like this until they are calm, and then he flips inside out when he's happy. The last thing I wanted to show you were these puppets. This is Flynn and this is Daisy, and the kids helped us name them. That is week, I think we're wrapping up week 3. Next week, we are doing Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. And then finally, the week after that, we are entering our letters of the week as well as our theme. So thank you for watching. As always, if you like it, give it a big thumbs up. Click like, subscribe. I am planning some extra videos, not just the week-to-week stuff, but you guys know the beginning of the year is crazy. So bear with me. We will get there, and I will see you very soon. Bye. Bye. Oh, bye.